So when we make our argument this morning, Your Honor, we think there are four reasons that we should be granted summary judgment. And the first, Your Honor, is the statute of limitations in this particular matter. And what ends up happening is the statute of limitations provides a certain limited amount of time for a challenge to be brought. And we think that this particular challenge was brought way outside. Secondly, Your Honor, we think that statute of limitations completely throws the entire case out.
Let me ask you one question right
Certainly.
here. On the challenge, are you referring to the challenge of the county ordinance? Is that what you're referring to, or the referendum? What
The entirety of the ordinance and the referendum, all of this is a challenge, and we'll discuss that in greater detail.
So the reason I say that is I was under the impression from an affidavit from the mayor of Andrews that they weren't challenging.
That's their contention. That's what they're trying to characterize this. But if you look at it, that's all this is a challenge to the terms. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
My apologies.
No,
Make
Your
sure
Honor.
I clear that up. All right, thank you.
No, thank you. So we think the statute of limitations as a whole bars the entire case. It should be dismissed. We also think that if you look at the pleadings themselves, they filed an action for a writ of mandamus for injunctive relief and then a declaratory judgment. And we think it's clear that they have not procedurally complied with the writ of mandamus requirements of the rules and the injunctive relief. And we think that's the second ground, that at least those two causes of action should be dismissed. Then we look at the actual injunctive relief component. And Your Honor, we all know that there has to be a justiciable controversy in order for there to go forward with a claim for injunctive relief. And if you look at the entirety of the facts and the evidence that's before the court, which we've included, there's just not. It just does not exist. So we think that the injunctive relief component bars the claims from the town. And finally, Your Honor, if you look at the totality of nature, and I will say this, I had my property professor at Carolina was Steve Spitz. And obviously, Professor Spitz is well known in South Carolina's legal circles. A lot of it because of his equitable, his theories of equity and how important it is for that to be provided to the court as well. Not just legal arguments, but equitable arguments. And Your Honor, we think that equitably the town should be precluded from trying to basically get a windfall by their actions because they're coming into this courtroom with unclean hands, Your Honor. So those are our four bases that we think that summary judgment should be granted